Now to the United States, where officials are warning that Hurricane Helene could cause a nightmare scenario as it approaches Florida's coastline. These satellite images show Helene advancing across the Gulf of Mexico. It's already hit parts of Florida and is expected to bring significant damage to much of southeastern United States. Helene's actually been upgraded to a Category 3 hurricane and is due to make landfall in a few hours. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis issued this warning.
Don't put yourself at risk. We have fatalities on the roadways in hazardous conditions almost every storm, and those can be avoided with proper planning. Remember also, we're going to experience power outages. A lot of people use generators, and that's great, but please use the generator properly. If you use the generator inside your house, that could kill you. You got to keep the generator outside the house, a safe distance from any doors or windows. You can't let the carbon monoxide get into your home.
Well, the meteorologist and journalist Matthew Cappucci joins us now from the small town of Perry in North Florida. Welcome, Matthew. Helene's expected to make landfall pretty soon. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, so the storm Helene is undergoing rapid intensification right now for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's over incredibly warm sea surface temperatures around 30, 31 degrees Celsius, if not warmer. That is high octane fuel. We have a record amount of oceanic heat content, basically warmth and fuel for this hurricane to tap into. And so that is fueling its strengthening. At the same time, too, we have spreading of the air in the upper atmosphere. That creates like a vacuum of sorts. We're moving air away from the top of the storm such that air can rise, more warmth and moisture comes in the bottom. It's like if you're fanning a leaf blower over a chimney. The more air that goes out the top, the more that comes in from below, and we fuel the fire. Right now, it already has winds of around 165 to 170 kilometers per hour. It's a Category 3, and based on all the data I'm seeing, it will likely become a low-end Category 4 with potentially devastating impacts where I am here in Perry. We're expecting a storm surge of 3 to 4 meters at the immediate coastline, in addition to tornado-like wind speeds.
So how are Perry locals preparing for this?
Well, truth be told, I'm not sure they have as much as they should. I know that many counties are under evacuation. Taylor County, where I am, has a mandatory evacuation order. But truth be told, last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, there were several intoxicated people wandering around the streets with their shirts off, having a grand old time. I think because last year we had a hurricane come through the same area called Idalia that wasn't as bad, a lot of locals likely have underestimated the significance of this storm. That said, across the broader region, I do think Florida is doing a decent job letting people know what to expect. The forecasts have been great. The National Hurricane Center has been communicating phenomenally, as they always do. So ultimately, you have to hope people are running from the water and hiding from the wind, because in a situation like this with a storm this powerful, that's what you have to do.
OK, so Florida is hurricane country. Florida has hurricanes, but Helene has been described as catastrophic and unsurvivable. What makes it so dangerous compared to previous storms?
Well, Helene is coming ashore in a part called the Big Bend, or kind of like the notch of Florida, if you will. And that area doesn't see a ton of hurricanes to this strength. In fact, the last time we had 3 hurricanes that were this strong back to back to back was, I think, more than 100 years ago. And so folks here might not be accustomed to the strength of what's coming. The other thing, too, this is kind of a densely packed hurricane, meaning that it won't really get bad until it's about to get really bad. In other words, there's no wind yet. 6 hours from now, we'll have winds here over 140, 160 kilometers per hour. So that's a big concern. But the biggest issue is the surge, how much water is being pushed towards the coastline. The bathymetry, the shape of the seafloor here is so gently sloping that it's easy to pile water against the coastline. And considering how big the wind field of Helene is, we're going to be pushing so much water ashore that a lot of coastal communities will be completely inundated to the height of a second-floor window.
OK, so is this indicative of a trend? Is this a one-off really, really bad storm, or is this just more, as we've been experiencing here in Europe, are things just getting worse?
That's a really good question. A lot of folks try to parse out the climate change element of weather. And in cases like this, I will say it is hurricane season. It is September. The waters are at their warmest. So we do see storms this time of year. What we're expecting with human-induced climate change is not an uptick in how many storms there are. We think there will actually be fewer hurricanes in the future, but the caveat is that we'll see stronger storms, more prone to rapid intensification. They'll be more intense, stronger winds, and wetter because, of course, a warmer atmosphere holds more water, and a warmer atmosphere favors warmer ocean waters, meaning more fuel. So, again, we're not expecting more storms, but the scales are tilting towards more significant storms, and this storm is certainly significant.
OK, thanks for that, Matthew. Try and stay safe. Meteorologist and journalist Matthew Cappucci in Florida.